Good Friday morning to you. Here's the Velco Weather Hazards Outlook. This is valid the rest of today, Friday, the 10th day of October, this through next Thursday, October the 16th. Well, current conditions across the region, kind of shooting the gap in between two areas of storminess. This is a tighter pressure gradient with some rain shower activity off to the north of us, well north of the St. Lawrence River Valley. And then off to the south, we have this sort of elongated stretch, a little bit of snow coming out of the Colorado Rockies and the higher elevations there, and then some rain and some shower and thunderstorm activity on its southern flank, and this extends all the way to the middle Atlantic states, just a little bit south of New York City. And this will stay in position to the south. We'll shoot the gap, this area of higher pressure, a cool area of higher pressure notably as well, as temperatures this morning in the 20s will then work its way across the region and be over Vermont on Sunday, and then work off the coast. That'll open the door for this sort of tail end caboose of this elongated weather system here to sort of rotate, and by that time it'll begin to move through on Monday of next week, providing us with some showers. Behind it, the flow and the temperatures here will be imported, and we're looking at a warming trend for the early to mid part of next week. And here's a quick look at the rapid refresh model. As you can see, precipitation off to the south of us and precipitation off to the north of us. And this area of precipitation will basically shoot off the coast and really not get too far to the north. The stuff to the north of us will stay and shoot off to the east, and we're going to be kind of in between systems here as conditions remain pretty settled. And unsettled weather will not move in until it looks like sometime on Monday, and probably during Monday afternoon and Monday night. And a quick look at the precipitable water, and these are current conditions right now. The brown shows drier air, the green and reds much more moisture content, and it looks like that's going to remain to the south of us, as you can see. Now what's going to end up happening is that caboose, that tail end area of low pressure, is going to begin to move in our neck of the woods, and it kind of buckles the flow. So a little bit of a change in the weather pattern. This doesn't happen until Monday. This is that first shot of moisture coming through on Monday. And then beyond that, a storm system will sort of wind up in the vicinity of the Great Lakes. It'll draw in much more deep tropical moisture. You can see that red colored tropical moisture. That's precipitable water in excess of 2 inches. This is above normal. And what you're looking at is some of that being pulled in like taffy and then stretched across the region. Not quite into Vermont, but pretty doggone close. You're looking at precipitable water around 1.8. So we're looking at an increase for tropical-like rainfall. Could be some healthy downpours and even some thunderstorm activity making it this far north. Dew point temperatures as well for the mid to late part of next week look like they're going to be up there in the probably in the low 60s, and that's fuel for thunderstorm activity. So we may see some widely scattered, mostly benign thunderstorm activity, and eventually it looks like just out of this period later, probably on Friday afternoon, we'll see some sort of a frontal boundary work on through, and that's going to be the biggest threat for any thunderstorms at that point in time. And once again, looking at the European model, you can see the big area of higher pressure located over the Great Lakes, some cool temperatures each morning, 1024 millibar high, 1025 millibar high. Working across the area, this is going to be valid Sunday evening. Once that area of higher pressure moves off the coast, then it opens the door for a little bit of shower activity as we're talking about on Monday. And then once that moves on by, we're kind of in no man's land. A bit of a southerly breeze. It looks like some indications of some minor precipitation, probably light, scattered, or isolated shower activity. But Vermont probably will fare okay, and I'm thinking it'll be a dry day on Tuesday. Thereafter, some isolated shower and thunderstorm threat starts to take place as that frontal boundary wrapping around this area of low pressure here, which is pretty weak, as you can see, at least modeled by the European model. But a moisture plume stretching up the coast. We'll have to watch that for any kind of threat of thunderstorm activity that would be harmful, of course, to utilities. It looks like that increases with the best chances for precipitation along about Friday late next week. And this is a look at the GFS ensembles, and you can see very little in the way of precipitation for a few days here until we get after the past the weekend, and then we're looking at that increase in moisture, and the European and the GFS are coinciding with a lot of the computer modeling currently. NSIPs folks project looks like a little bit better than around 1.5 inches. This would be valid again through about Friday morning. so through the end of Thursday of next week through the period. So we're going to start picking up a little bit more in the way of precipitation around the area around Vermont. Of course, the heavy-duty precip will be out in the Pacific Northwest, where they can use some much-needed rainfall as well. Here's the 5-day model output statistics. This is valid through Wednesday evening, and temperatures around Vermont above normal, running somewhere between 3 and 6 degrees. A big warm-up in the parts of northern or southern Canada and extending into the northern plains, out along the west coast as well. The only cool spot, just leftovers of some cooler air that will move in from the upper Midwest and settle into parts of the central part of the U.S. And a little bit later in the period, near normal temperatures here, and of course in Vermont, northeast United States, we're looking at a nice little warm-up, and temperatures will continue above normal, it looks like, for quite a bit of time. Here's the Iowa State Meteogram generator, and it shows kind of a coolish scenario here for the next 3 days, right through Sunday afternoon. And then thereafter, we start to make a warm-up. And these temperatures are actually undercutting, I think. I think it's actually going to get warmer above 70 degrees. European model's been very consistent on that, starting Tuesday and probably lasting into Thursday of next week. And so we have no issues through Sunday, but once we start seeing those dew point temperatures make a bit of a rise, you're looking at 55 and even near 60. European model, when it gives us somewhere around 75 for highs on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, especially Wednesday and Thursday, indications are that we might even see dew points in the low 60s, and that's fuel for the possibility of some thunderstorm activity. And all computer models are in fairly good agreement right now with not a whole lot going on in the wind department. Some breezy days, certainly, even today on Friday. And then down the road a piece, it looks like back into Wednesday and Thursday, some southerly winds will be blowing, and conditions, maybe some gusts up around 30, 35 miles per hour. But for the most part, no real gradient winds to worry until probably very late next week. And a quick look at the tropics. We have basically 3 waves of easterly waves that have come off of Africa and the subtropics. This west of the Cape Verde Islands, and this is a little bit more potent, something we'll have to watch. About a 10% chance for cyclone formation over the next couple of days. This one looks like it's going to be a depression and probably a tropical storm, about a 90% chance. The good news is that it's pretty far to the north, and what will happen is it'll get taken up and slide out to sea, as we've seen so many of these. However, this one could be problematical and something we'll have to watch, but it's well down the road. Right now, very low confidence on this. The European models picks this up and takes it north of the Bahamas, or in the vicinity of the Bahamas, in a few days out. So something we'll have to watch just down the road. That's it here. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights Consulting.